You know, pad thai's got to be the most popular Thai dish in the world. I mean, not just in America. But did you know the secret to making really delicious pad thai is this ingredient right here? This is called tamarind. It's a potted fruit. It grows around the equator, but the most delicious tamarinds are from Thailand. I mean, this form of tamarind is more like a hand fruit. You want to peel away the skin, you throw the seeds away, and you eat the fruit. But for cooking, you definitely want to use this. This is a really lightly processed product where they've taken away the seeds and the shells, and it's pure cooking tamarind liquid ready to make pad thai with. Now, I know you're thinking, you know, there's Indian tamarind products, there's Latin tamarind products, but those are very heavily processed and have a very sweet, kind of syrupy flavor. This tamarind product is very light, super acid, and just makes a really delicious pad thai. I'm going to show you how to break this recipe down into 3 easy steps: the prep, the sauce, and the cook.
The perfect pad thai begins with the right noodle. So go to the Thai market, make sure the label says Chantaboon Rice Stick. Make sure it's dry. You're gonna soak these noodles for about 45 minutes to an hour, and they're gonna look like this. And don't drain that water, because I have a surprise for you. So the first of the 3 steps, the prep. This is fried tofu, comes from the store just like this, usually hangs out in the deli section. So take your tofu, cut it into small tiles, probably about ½ inch wide. Then you're gonna cut up your scallions. I like to start by tipping the scallions, meaning cutting off the root end and the tip end, and then cutting the scallion into 2-inch sections. Take those 2-inch sections and cut them lengthwise into thin strips. This is gonna give you a really great texture. It's also gonna plate really beautifully. So now the sauce. We're gonna start with equal portions of sugar, fish sauce, and tamarind. That's gonna serve as the base salty, sweet, and sour. Now we're gonna add a little heat by adding a little sriracha. After the sriracha, let's add a few bright notes of different acids. We're gonna start with rice vinegar, and we're gonna add a little bit of lime juice. Let's tie the entire sauce together now with a little bit of paprika. That's gonna give you that beautiful kind of red-orange color that pad thai is known for. So we've covered the prep, the sauce, now it's time to cook in the wok. We're gonna heat the wok up on the highest heat possible and throw a little bit of high-temperature vegetable oil in there. Once you see a bit of white smoke, I'm gonna add the dried shrimp, the garlic, the pickled radish, and the tofu all at once. These are all ingredients you can find at any Thai market. Once you saute those ingredients together, I want you to actually push them all against one side. So this is what I call hot side, cold side, and all the ingredients here are up against the cold side because it's not directly over flame. I'm gonna crack the eggs right into the hot side. Once the egg starts to coagulate and starts to tighten up, bring all those ingredients back together, stir fry them until they're nice and fragrant, and then it's time to add shrimp. And I'm using shrimp today, but you could use chicken, pork, you can make any pad thai. You can even make a vegetarian pad thai and leave all animal out of there. Now, wok cooking is kind of like a reverse order of operations, right? Whatever takes longer to cook, you're gonna put in first. So by the time the last ingredient's in, all of it meets at that perfect place where everything is cooked. So we're at the point where the shrimp's about medium. It's time to bring in the noodles right out of the water. You wanna make sure some of that moisture grabs onto the noodles, hits the pan, and creates a little bit of steam. This is gonna help that 2-stage cooking process that we need for these noodles. First, they soften up really well. Then we add the sauce in, and that's what creates that beautiful kind of chewy mouthfeel that we know pad thai has. So the noodles are nice and soft. That means they're ready, they've already fried down, they're ready to receive the sauce. Because there's sugar in here, and we didn't apply any heat to the sauce, give it a really good mix before you add it in there. It's time to kind of flatten it out and make a bed and bring in the bean sprouts, the peanuts, and the scallions. Make sure to reserve some for your plating. Once those are all folded together, you just want to cook these to cook kind of that bite out of the scallion and the bean sprouts. So now I want you to look down to the bottom of the pan, and you've got a choice. If you feel you've got enough flavor, but the pad thai looks a little dry, I want you to reach for about 1/8 of a cup of that soaking liquid for the noodles. It's really starchy liquid that's going to help tighten up the pad thai and make it nice and kind of saucy. There's that perfect balance in pad thai where it's not too wet, not too dry, and definitely has that nice chewy mouthfeel. And this kind of pasta water trick is always going to help you out. So now it's time to plate up. Get a nice plate, bring all the noodles to the middle, and it's always nice to bring all the goodies to the top of the noodles. So I like to bring the shrimp and some of the tofu to the top. Save a little room, push it all to one side. This is the place where you're going to garnish with bean sprouts, peanuts, and scallions. And there you have it, the perfect restaurant pad thai at home, broken down to 3 easy steps.